So, Elaine, as I'm sure you're aware, the Colonial Pipeline hack caused a huge stir in the US related to gas. But getting deeper into it, it was a hack into their servers and it was ransomware. Can you tell me your point of view on how this could have happened and how our weakened in open communications could have been one of the causes for it?
Sure, Michael. So, the beginning of any hack is typically surveying the communication of employees or anybody related to that company. And, there's a statistic out there that 94% of all the hacks start with email. And it doesn't mean that they got hacked through their email system necessarily, although I've heard reports of that. But the idea is that these large hacks, first they monitor the employees, they monitor people. And how do you monitor communication? It's all email or sometimes messaging as well. Everybody uses WhatsApp because it's just easy. And if you're outside of the office, you're going to communicate through your WhatsApp or your text even and your Google Mail or whatever. And that's how they catch you.
Mhm.
Hackers like that have a whole they basically do their homework, right? They could take several months of surveying and what's happening, and then they know that employee A uses this system or that section uses that system, and then boom, they go into it. And this is the first time that I think people are realizing that infrastructure can be hacked.
Yeah.
We read about it, we hear about it, but unless it affects your wallet and your gasoline tank, we don't really realize. When you have to line up for gasoline, then you take cybersecurity more seriously,
True.
right? That's a different story. Now, something much more scary, let's say they hit a food supply chain company and you can't buy food. Your shelves are running out. I mean, during COVID, people panicked because there was not enough toilet paper for a week. Imagine if you can't have
Yeah.
vegetable, milk, meat, all of that.
Yeah.
So we can't underestimate the power of these hackers and hacking, and we can't underestimate. We always say, "Well, I have nothing to hide." It's not about that. You need to hire professionals to monitor your company's infrastructure. You need to have serious privacy channels. You may use some of those mass market cloud companies, but then as an executive, if you do communication back and forth, you should use a company like ours with our secure product.
Yeah.
So, sekur.com, that's a plug right there. Go to our website and see what we do. In fact, we're all over the place. People should know what we do. And I'm going to segue by saying that this is why we're pushing heavily in the US.
Yeah.
In the next few months, between now and the end of the year, and well into next year, we have an aggressive rollout plan because the US is a huge market. It is the largest market for consumers. It's also the number one targeted country, and it's also where the pipeline was too, affecting Canadians too, mind you. So I think this whole thing could have been prevented with better security monitoring, of course, and definitely a more secure and private communication channel for the business. But that's impossible to do. You may have the top tier company, the C-level executives adopting a system like ours in parallel.
Hmm.
It's very hard to change the culture and the infrastructure
True.
of an entire company. So that's what we're facing. It's going to happen again and again and again until eventually the entire, companies decide to really have better systems to use for email and messaging.
Yeah, I think it's good. It wasn't as serious as it could have been. It was serious, but like you said, it could have targeted agriculture, anything like that, and caused bigger disruptions. I guess the question is now is how many times will everyone get burned before you catch on and start making things more secure, right?
It's going to take a lot of hack. I mean, hospitals were hacked, doctors are hacked, uh, COVID records are stolen, and still you have that complacency. This is a mindset that needs to change over the years.
Hmm.
And this is, again, one of the reasons why we want to offer our privacy and security email and messaging solution, and soon actually our video conferencing tool before the end of this year in 2021, to people who really value their privacy and security, and of course their infrastructure as well. So yeah, it's going to take a long time. Cybersecurity is not going away. It's getting bigger and bigger. According to some statistics, it's costing the global economy this year $6 trillion US per year, and it's growing.
Wow.
So, we hear a lot about COVID that cost trillions of dollars. This was a once in an 80-year event. But every year when cybersecurity is costing 6 to 10 trillion a year in loss of productivity or real damages, that's something to look at. So we're here to help people, and we're hopefully will get more and more adoption of our secure platform. I should reiterate that we do not use the main platform like Amazon Web Service, Google or Microsoft or any of the big techs out there. We have our own proprietary technology. We don't use any open source coding, and we're on our own platform, all hosted in Switzerland. So you get the privacy and the security at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. Open source is great, but not when it comes to privacy and security.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, yeah. All right, Lane. Well, again, thank you for coming on and sharing your insight. This is definitely something that was right up your alley. So I'm glad I could get your opinions on it and a kind of a vision of the world looking forward. This cat and mouse game of cybersecurity is never going to end, because as long as there's money to be made, people will continue going after it. But thank you, Elaine, for being in the business of helping stop that. Any last words before we go?
No, thank you, Michael. Follow us on Twitter at GlobeX Data and follow the progress of our company. Follow our tickers. In the US, it's Swiss F. In Canada, it's Swiss. Like you said, as long as there's cybersecurity, people will make money. So will we, because more people hopefully are going to find about us and
Mhm.
buy our solution, our privacy security solution. So it's a good sector to be in. Of course, we would rather have people being protected instead of having their identity stolen. But this is why we say we have some services that could prevent most of that. So
Yeah.
definitely look us up.
All right, Elaine. Well, again, thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and stay tuned for more stuff coming soon. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Michael. Have a great day, everyone.